The late 90s were overflowing with cartoony mascot platformers, but one that stands among the best has got to be Banjo-Kazooie. It simply is an amazing platforming game. The controls are incredibly tight, and the worlds are a lot of fun to explore. Big enough to stay interesting, but not so big that you get bogged down in exploring them. Being an amazingly fun platforming game on its own would be enough, but the characters are very enjoyable as well. You play as a bear with a bright blue backpack and even brighter yellow shorts, who carries around a bright red bird in the backpack, which he utilizes to perform various combo moves. Oh, and again. One more time. No!
You ran into him! I wasn't ready!
What's wrong, Banjo? Is it tough? Let me know when you've had enough.
Oh my god, shut your dumb face, you stupid wench.
As a kid, these worlds felt a lot bigger, and so going through them felt like an adventure. The first level is relatively easy, but still a lot of fun. The second one, Treasure Trove Cove, is very popular. It might be the strongest level in the game, based on popular opinion. The third level's fun, the fourth level's fun, the fifth level's great! It's probably the best wintry, Christmassy level I've ever played in a video game. Followed immediately by the haunted level, which is another strong contender. It's only when you get toward the end of the game that some of the more frustrating levels appear. Rusty Bucket Bay is still phenomenal, but there are a couple of incredibly frustratingly difficult sections. Specifically the one with a bottomless floor, and if you fall into it, you lose all your progress and you gotta start over collecting all those notes. It really isn't fun. And then the final level has an amazing idea in concept. Climbing a different tree over the course of 4 seasons, watching the leaves blossom, hatching an eagle and watching it grow through the seasons, the landscape changing as piles of leaves or blankets of snow build up. But admittedly, it is one of the most tedious levels in the game because you have to keep on going up a tree, and it's a very vertical level, and if you slip, you fall, you gotta start all the way back over again. But even still, it's one of my favorite platforming games of all time, and one of my favorite games, bar none. It does so many things right. I feel like if a lot of 3D platformer collectathon games could have been like the original Banjo-Kazooie, maybe the genre wouldn't have fallen out of favor. Now, I enjoy the sequel, Banjo-Tooie, a lot as well, but it's a bit more of a chore to play that one. Gathering the collectibles can be a lot more effort. The worlds are a lot bigger, and sometimes, well, oftentimes, emptier. So traversing them isn't always the quickest thing, especially when you have to keep rotating between multiple playable characters. I wish I liked the second game more because there are a lot of fun elements, but for every improvement it makes on the original game, it also takes a step back and makes things a bit worse. But Banjo-Kazooie is almost perfect the way it is. There are just a few tweaks here and there. I think the requirements to get to the final boss are a bit excessive. You need to gather 96 out of the 100 major collectibles, so that's the vast majority of the game you have to play. You can't just pick and choose the ones you want. But just because I don't think it's absolutely perfect doesn't mean I don't think it's great, because it is great. I love going back to this game time and time again. It's so satisfying how immediate and snappy everything is. You run over a collectible, it plays a jingle, and you got it. You have the thing. It's a non-stop barrage of gathering things. How many is that now? 3? You always feel like you're making progress. You're never spinning your wheels. Every time I play it, I have a great time, and it makes me want to play more Banjo-Kazooie. So I will inevitably boot up the sequel and remember that, yeah, it makes some mistakes and it's not as good as the original. And that's a shame because I believe Banjo-Kazooie could have been a really long-lasting series. We could have had more than 2 mainline entries and a car crafting spin-off game. It's so frustrating that we haven't had a good Banjo-Kazooie game in, like, what, 2 decades now? 3? People love these characters. I enjoy these characters. I really wish they hadn't been left to languish the way they have, because they deserve so much more. They deserve at least one more great game. Sometimes I daydream about a world where Banjo-Kazooie is a well-renowned video game series. Every few years, there's one more amazing release that everyone looks forward to. It's up there with Mario, Zelda, Pokemon. Games that might not get an annual release, but people look forward to the next great entry in the series. It has that potential, I know it does, but instead it's been left by the wayside. Bring back the bear with the blue backpack and the Breagle bird. Bring them back, please? No? Okay, well, guess I'll go back and play the original Banjo-Kazooie for the 10th time.
Youth transferred to mistress.
Damn. Those N64 dimensions, though.
Hey, she's got the polygons where it counts. And there's my little sister!
Oh, no.
Banjo,
Oh, no.
your sister wants a word with you.
Uh-oh. Stinky.